Sadly, there are many ways of producing poor strikes, but two of the commonest causes that I find for hitting the fat shot, the heavy shot, is incorrect weight transfer, both back and through, and throwing the club out with the wrists at the changeover from back to down. Let me show you the incorrect weight transfer first of all. Here I am with a perfectly good setup, and in a correct swing I'd be trying to take the club away and shift the weight onto my back leg. If I don't move my weight, or worse still, leave the weight on my front foot, what happens is I dip down, then as I start down I have to try and haul myself back out of the way and hit the ground behind the ball, maybe not even making contact with the ball, and at best if I do I just move it a few yards. Now, to overcome that fault, what we need to concentrate on is taking the club away smoothly, low to the ground, and making sure that the weight moves onto the back leg. So here I am again at the start, concentrating on keeping the club low to the ground, turning my shoulder, turning my hips, and making sure that I get this front shoulder over my back leg at the top of the backswing. Once I've moved away to here, I've got the weight nicely back, and then from there I can start down, letting the weight just settle back to then create the correct angle to clip the ball off the ground and concentrate on a really good follow through, keeping that horrible fat duff out of my game. And then another common reason is throwing the club out from the top of the backswing. So let me show you that horror as well. Here we are. I've now made a pretty good swing to the top of the backswing. Maybe gone a little bit too far with my arms. This often happens in this shot. Perhaps a little bit of bending of the left arm as well. I've collapsed a touch at the top of the backswing, and then as I start down I have to throw the club away to try and get some space back into my swing. But of course, as soon as I throw this out, I increase the arc of the swing, and of course, poof, down into the ground again I come, hitting the ground behind, and that too is completely hopeless. So what do we need to concentrate on to get this one out of the game? Well, again, we still want to turn the shoulders, transfer the weight, but if you can concentrate on keeping your hands away from your head and trying to get your hands at the top of the backswing, about level with your ear, maybe the top of your head, that's really the key. And then again, just concentrating on the changeover from back to down, working the legs down first of all, holding the arms back, and then swishing from halfway down. Whatever you do, don't give it the old swish from the top. Oh, disaster again. So there we are, another horror. A top shot, thin shot, all your friends cry, "Head up!" when you say that. No, of course my head didn't come up. It may have done, but that isn't the main cause. Cause again of the thin shot is incorrect weight distribution or collapsing on the follow through. Those are the two favourites that I see. So let me just explain to you what happens with that. Here we are again, quite a good setup. I swing back, don't shift the weight onto the right. This leads to what we call the reverse pivot. I'm over my left side, and of course now, because I'm low, I feel as though I'm going to hit the ground. As I start down, in here sort of says, "Whoa, Gary, you're in the wrong place. We need to lift up and out of it." So of course I've gone down, and I lift back up and pass right over the golf ball. So again, to fix this one, we need to make sure that we concentrate on our good old friends, turning the left shoulder, turning the hips, getting the weight across, turning over the inside of my right leg. If I can move back to here, again as I change over, settle the weight back, now I'm at the correct angle, coming down on the plane in order to have a good strike into the back of the ball, and I can squeeze him away with the correct angle of attack. That should avoid the poor weight and lifting up and causing the top. And of course the other nasty thin shot stems from not having a proper release at impact and a proper follow through. So let me just show you that horror as well. This time I've got a good setup. I'm good to the top of my backswing. I start down quite nicely, but then for whatever reason there's something the matter as I go through impact, and my arm buckles up and I end up pulling the club in close to me. something that you very often see if you're out there on the golf day and you've got a photographer on the first tee. He snaps away and everybody's pictures come back and they'll go, look at me just past impact, with these chicken wing elbows all collapsed in. And of course, if I do that as I come into impact, I lift the club up over the top, whether it be on the tee or on the fairway. Yet more grief. So, to overcome that, what I'd like you to try and do is to imagine that you've actually got a second golf ball just in front of the one that you're striking. And if we're on the fairway, we're really concentrating on not taking a big divot. I don't want you to go digging for glory. We're just trying to actually brush the grass to take the ball away, and imagine that we've got a second golf ball about a golf ball's width in front. If we can do that, brushing the grass, following through onto a second ball, that will encourage the arms to extend out after impact and should help to get the bottom of the club underneath the golf ball to lift him away and get it up there on the green. Give yourself a birdie chance.